Hello, hello. So this is just going to be a really short video. So the other day, 50 and I played through Superhot. Superhot is a fantastic game. It plays with a time manipulation type game mechanic where time only moves when you're moving. So I thought that was great, and I would take that idea and expand on it a little bit. Just wanted to try something out. And what I thought when I was playing Superhot, because 50's there sitting aside watching a show, I'm playing Superhot over at his place, is like, you know what, this would be great as a multiplayer game. Okay, not like online, but say split screen multiplayer, where you're both racing to the end of a corridor. Or maybe not racing, but trying to cure the most amount of points by using things in the environment, so on and so forth. But he brought out a good point. Trying to do the time dilation for the two different screens for the two different players could turn into a problem. So I wanted to test that. So what we got here is a split screen game, well, split screen demo of what that could look like. So I've got my controller in hand for player 2, and as I move, the balls will move and bounce, and as I move quicker, they will get closer to real time. Okay? We also have jumping, so when I jump, we'll go full time, and then we'll go slow-mo as we're coming back down. Boom! Isn't that cool? And then the one thing I really thought was missing in Superhot, because there's a few levels where you're completely surrounded, is that you could really use a crouch. So I did crouch, but I also did crouch and slide. Ooh, there's those balls right there. So you got crouch, or I guess duck, because I remove input at this point. You can only look around. You can't actually move. And then if you're moving and you crouch at the same time, you do a slide. And the time slows down with your velocity. And you see, while I'm running around, nothing is happening on the left-hand side of the screen. That's because that's player 1. So if I now go over to my keyboard and mouse, we've got the same jumping controls and the same sliding controls. And their time dilation is being affected all by itself. Just like that. And as I move the mouse back and forth slowly, time moves a little bit. And as I do the same thing on the controller, time moves a little bit. And we'll jump. Ooh. So yeah, that is just a brief look at what a game like Superhot could be done in split screen. Um, because of the linear nature of the game that we played, Superhot there, I feel the vertical split screen really suits it. But this could also be done in horizontal, but I really don't think you need that wide a field of view for it. But yeah, that is the idea. I'll go over just a really quick implementation of it for those of you interested. So what we're using is custom time dilation. The custom time dilation node, so on each actor, you have to set its time dilation, and this doesn't work for physics. So the balls, instead of using physics to make them bounce, which I was trying to do initially, we're actually using the projectile component. So it's acting like a bullet, except for its bounciness is turned on. So what we do is, for every movement we can do, for walking, for strafing, for looking around, for crouching and sliding, for our velocity, we save that input value. Okay? And then we loop through all those inputs to see which one's the largest. So if velocity has the largest input, we're moving at 0.8 of our maximum velocity, or 80% of our maximum velocity. That's the speed that time will run, is 80% of regular speed, and so on and so forth. Then, on our game mode, we have an array of time dilations. saved per player index. So I did have this for just 2 players initially, and I figured, hey, let's scale it. If you want 4 players, if you want 8 players split screen, you can do whatever you want to do because it is scalable because it's now just an array that can be made to whatever size we want. So we save that value in an array, and then all of our enemies, so right now our enemies are just these test balls, but on each tick, they get the array for the player they're supposed to be interacting with. Okay, so this would take a little bit of level setup. So like right now I have the 2 channels running side by side, and these balls here, you can see have a player index of 0. So they're going to be applied to the first player, and these balls here have a player index of 1, as they'll be affected by the second player. So yeah, just a quick idea of something you could do along the lines of what Superhot did with time dilation, and maybe expand it a bit with split screen multiplayer, or crouching, or the sliding. Actually, the sliding I'm really happy with. It's very simple. Basically, if the character is moving more than half their speed, so their speed divided by 2, then we set the friction of the player down really low. So it's not like we're actually pushing them along in a slide. It's just like all of a sudden the ground underneath them when they crouch is ice. And then when they stop crouching, we put it back to normal. And that is it. The simplest thing I could think of for making a slide. But yeah, that's that. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you want me to go over any of this more in depth, please let me know. But I just thought it was a neat idea that's worth exploring in the future. Bye for now.